All right, good afternoon and good morning to everybody. I'm Derek Lokowitz, and I'd like to welcome you to our Lunch and Learn event on the Acumatica CRM module. Joining me today is Jay Forrest and Bob Donald as your presenters. Before I get things started, I wanted to just go over a couple of quick housekeeping items. First, we are going to be recording today's presentation, and so as such, I've placed everybody on mute. You still have the ability to interact with us by using the questions section in the control panel, or you can also raise your hand if you're having issues or whatever, and I can reach out to you. We've set aside some time towards the end of the presentation, after the demonstration, I should say, to answer any questions that might have come up. So please don't be shy. We're here to help you out. Secondly, I wanted to make sure that you all received your Grubhub vouchers. If you're new to our presentations, you should have received a welcome email from Grubhub with instructions on setting up an account. If you've been with us before, the voucher will have just automatically been added to your account. I want to make sure that everybody knows it's good for 24 hours, so please don't be shy. Make sure you use it. I'd hate for it to get I hate for you guys to miss out on the opportunity. So with that said, Jay, if you could move the slide for me, let's go ahead and take a look at our agenda for the day. So as you can see here, Jay will be taking you through a little bit about the Donis Group, as well as running over a few slides on who Acumatica is and a couple of key points about their software solution. After that, he's going to hand things off to Bob, who'll be running you through an overview demo of some of Acumatica's features, but he's going to focus primarily on the functionality of the CRM module. When Bob's done, I'll jump back on and run through the questions that you guys have had, and we'll start to wrap things up. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Jay, and we'll get this party started. Let's change the presenter rights and go for that. All right, Jay, you've got the com.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Since 1996, the Donis Group has been working with a wide variety of customers in many industries. We attribute our longevity to our commitment to staying current with technologies and certifications. This has allowed us to support and service our customers and develop long-term relationships. Developed for resilient businesses, Acumatica Cloud ERP is the most usable, adaptable, and affordable business management solution available today. Built for mobile and telework scenarios, it easily integrates with the collaboration tools of your choice. Acumatica delivers flexibility, efficiency, and continuity of operations to growing small and mid-market organizations. With internet availability, you can connect to your system with many of today's interactive devices. Whether desktop, smartphone, laptop, or even Alexa, you can access and work from the location of your choice. There's no per-seat premium, so your technology can scale with your business instead of being a drag on your growth. Every authorized person can access, create, and receive the information they need to drive business, regardless of whether they are frequent or casual users, internal employees, external vendors, partners, or customers. With Acumatica's flexible consumption-based licensing plans, you only pay for the computing power you need. Our pricing is designed to be stable and predictable, geared to your growth. Acumatica is committed to customer success. Acumatica's Net Promoter Score is quite commendable. The Net Promoter Score gauges the loyalty of a firm's customer relationships and ranges from -100 to +100. A +50 is considered an excellent score. Other examples, Starbucks comes in at a +45 and Coca-Cola comes in at a +8. In the 10+ years of Acumatica's existence, they've averaged about 700 customers a year, or about 200 a day. NPS plus Acumatica's high support satisfaction are reasons why Acumatica is the fastest growing cloud ERP company. Leading research firm IDC, who focuses on the tech landscape, has named Acumatica a leader in mid-market ERP, which included over 23 other ERP offerings. John Rothschild, CEO of Acumatica, attributes this to the investment that Acumatica has made in delivering a product that is innovative and high on customer usability scale. Acumatica's CRM process allows team collaboration, working with leads during different stages through customer conversion. Multiple importing methods allow obtaining inputs from many of today's popular sources. Tasks, events, and reporting tools allow working effectively to keep the process on track. Dashboards provide the key performance indicators that allow managing by exception. Standard out-of-the-box dashboards are totally customizable for KPIs geared towards what's important to you. Workspaces are grouped by functional area and facilitate all associated activities within. Acumatica's commitment to current technologies provides the tools required for today's competitive environment. The sales team, through the mobile application, has all the power and capabilities needed to drive business from anywhere internet connectivity exists. From lead to deal, Acumatica CRM integrates seamlessly with their cloud ERP solution by sharing of data from a single source, of which fosters company-wide collaboration, create proposals and quotes easily, and turn them into orders, which provide the quick turnaround customers appreciate. And consolidation within a single application provides visibility and efficiency to convert opportunities to sales for success. Now I'll hand control over to Bob, who'll give you an overview of the CRM capabilities of the product. Take it away, Bob.
Thank you, Jay. I'd like to welcome everybody to our Lunch and Learn on the CRM overview. I'd like to start off. We're going to start off a little bit on talking about navigation through the software, and then I will move into the CRM portion of the software itself. Acumatica is a browser-based in the cloud system. It is supported by most browsers in use today and is access role-based, which means every person who logs into the software, and as Jay mentioned, you have an unlimited number of users, they're assigned a role. All security within the software is controlled by these roles. Since it is in the cloud, that means that your data is accessible to you and your staff anywhere that you have an internet-capable device and an internet connection. The system is designed to be configurable. The whole idea was to minimize using a programmer to customize the look and feel of the product. Changes can be made fast with no code changes whatsoever, and these changes can be tied to a role or an individual within the system. This is a multi-company, multi-currency product. Everything that we'll be seeing today is standard Acumatica right out of the box with no customization or third-party products. That being said, there is a huge community of ISVs or independent software vendors that provide additional functionality to the base software. EDI would be a perfect example of what an ISV product would be for us. We're going to start here on the controller dashboard. This is a completely configurable by the end user dashboard. All displays that you see here are live data that are updated in real time. Dashboards support an unlimited number of reports. This particular screen is currently showing 10 different reports, each one with its own drill down capability. Each login can have their own unique dashboard. Since there are unlimited logins, as I said earlier, there are unlimited dashboards. These are easy to create and change and are designed to be done by the user if they so choose. Looking at this dashboard, I can look at things like cash required in 30 days, 60 days, what's expected here, what's overdue customers, overdue payments. I can look at my cash position. Each one of these is a drill down capability, as well as like top overdue balances. I can go into those. It's very easy to move things around on the screen. If I don't like where something happens to be, I can just take it and just move them back and forth. I can add to them. I can look at the rules. I can determine what the colors mean. We have a lot of different colors. You know, you can have green for okay, yellow for warning, red for I have to take action. So the way the screen looks to the end user is completely within your control. You'll see this little gold star, and I'll talk about that in a moment, because that means that things are on my favorites bar. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the customer dashboard. And you'll see now these are all things that are related to the customer. Things like orders to ship, late orders, opportunities, which we'll be talking about later, sales order trends, recent activities. What I can do here, now this is for all of our customers. If I go into the search box and I type in, let's say in this case, USA, and you'll see that this search is true throughout the entire system. It's a type ahead so that it's reading what you're typing and is trying to come back with selected answers. So in this case, I'm going to go to USA Bartender School, and now the screen matches the information specific to that customer. So if I wanted to, I could say, okay, I've got 2 opportunities here. I can actually go in and see opportunities for that particular customer. Now this is just one customer. If I go back again, clear that parameter, it'll now then reset back to all of my customers in the system. This is a 360-degree view that everyone keeps talking about all the time when you're talking about looking at your customers. Everything that you want to know can be on this one page. And you can see on the right here, I can scroll down. If I have more things that aren't showing, like in this case, customer contacts, I can just keep adding inquiries to this particular screen. If I go to opportunities, for instance, and I look at, let's see, 376. One of the nice things on these screens is that it then shows me all the information that's on the opportunity, which we're going to go into in detail in a little bit, but I can look at the actual specific opportunity, look at the things that are happening with it. If I go back and just say all records, these are all the opportunities within the system. One of the things that you'll see as we move forward is that these columns are not static. In other words, if there's something that I want to move from one place to another, I can easily do it. For instance, if I want the employee name all the way over by the front, I could just move it that easily. And it remembers it for me and only me. It's not changing the report for other people that are entering into the system. On the left area, let me go back to on the left area of the screen, this is what we call Workspaces. And the view of this changes based on the security level or the role that you've been assigned as part of your sign-in. So for instance, if you're an AR clerk, you would not see the selections for accounts payable, purchasing, order entry. You only see those things you need to do to get your job done. Again, these are completely configurable by the user. If I go into the workspaces, I'll see that this now becomes like a menu item, and I can see all of the selections that are available to me. I have these what are called tiles across the top, and then they're grouped by functionality, but we've got things like transactions, automated operations, profiles, and so on. I can determine what I see on what they call the quick menu, or there's what's called the full menu, which is all the items that are available to me. But I can then control back and forth what happens to go on there. The last thing I wanted to bring up for moving around the system is the fact that we have what's called a universal search. And basically, you can type in anything that you're searching for, and it's going to go ahead and find it. For instance, I'll use 1099 as my example. If I type in 1099, what it's going to do is going to go out and look into the system and find anything related to 1099s. So in this case, it found menu items that are related to 1099, and these are all the different menu items that I could access within Acumatica for the 1099s. If there's any transactions, I could click on this and would display those. The help topics goes out and displays all the related pages from the online documentation for the system. It's very detailed, very complete documentation within the system. And if there are any files waiting to go, any like 1099 files waiting to go send out, they would then show up under this column as well. And that's where I'm going to stop on the moving around within the system itself. Since our topic is CRM, I'm going to bring up the CRM Flow Screen, which you saw in Jay's slide. And these are actually active. There's something you can click on things and they actually work. Acumatica provides a seamless ERP and CRM solution that works together for a single source of what they call organizational truth. We utilize sales automation for lead and contact management, activity task management, and opportunity and quote management. You can take advantage of marketing information for marketing emails, marketing campaigns, which are seamlessly connected all the way through to accounts receivable. And we can even utilize support management for case and support tickets, which may be even billed for time as you give it. Acumatica CRM workflow is seamlessly connected from the moment a lead enters the system, whether it be from the Outlook plugin, the mobile app, import from a website, or capture. Now, what's nice on this, like for Outlook, if you're in Outlook and you have the Outlook add-in, you can actually click on the email and you can then, the system will check to see if it's actually in Acumatica and you can add them as a lead or a suspect within the system. You can also add them through the mobile app, which we'll be showing later. If you buy lists, or let's say you're at a trade show and you get a list from there, you can have the ability to import those lists and create leads within the system. We have a very powerful automated system which allows you to assign how those leads are done to different salespeople based on whatever criteria you define, whether it be zip code, company size, it doesn't really matter. And then on the website, if you have inquiries on your website where it can create a flat file, we can actually then bring that information directly into the system. Once a lead is brought in, it is assigned, which is what I talked about earlier. You can do it manually or automatically. And then there's the setting of all the tasks and activities within it. And then people become contacts, which then move into opportunities. Once they are a customer, then the CRM takes over a different role and actually works as a support mechanism. You can take advantage of the marketing information for all the marketing emails and marketing campaigns, which are seamlessly connected to the accounts receivable. And then, as I said, we can utilize support management for case and support tickets. Acumatica CRM workflow is seamlessly connected from the moment the lead comes in the system. These leads can be maintained through activity management, assigned through automated assignment, which we just talked about, converted to contracts, and customers throughout the system. Within Acumatica, each user has a tailored dashboard that displays the information that they need to do their job. In this particular case, I'm the sales manager. The sales manager can stay on top of the daily activities of the sales team. Everything from quota views to key customer charts all the way through deal size trends. These are updated real time within the system. Individual sales reps will have their own personalized view of Acumatica where they can see their own leads that need to be followed up on. Talking faster than the system. So in this case, I am looking at what my leads are. No contact, obviously it's in red. My opportunities, my pipeline, and we'll go into detail on the pipeline. The pipeline's kind of nice because these different rules down here determine how things are updated to the pipeline. We'll go into that, but it has to do with the percentage based on the status of the particular opportunity as it's walking through the system. It also shows sales revenue and AR past due. So let's say I'm a salesman who's paid on commission and receipt of cash. Yeah, I may have to know what's outstanding out there, and if there's a problem with overdue AR that I may have to call my client about. These dashboards are, again, easy to design and personalize, and you can drill down into every one of these. If I go into leads, for instance, I can see that Acumatica provides tools. I'm going to set all records so we can see them all. Such as lead classes, like in this case, where the lead is, what campaign did it. Maybe these people are interested in service or parts. That way we can kind of track that. From the marketing side of the house, I can also categorize my leads based on the source. So if I look over at the source, I can see that I've got web, I've got purchased list, I've got referral. So you can do all kinds of things on these to find out what they are. In my case, I'm going to pick one from Al Bunbury. So let's see, B-R-Y. It's the only thing that's all I know about. It's part of his lead, so there it finds them. Got carried away with my mouse. And here, for instance, here's one for George. And what I've got here is it lists all of the information for this particular company. It's got his first and last name, what the status was, happens to be converted, what the company name is, who the owner is, which is internal owner, what the work group is, the job title, emails, and all the information that's associated with them. On the lead record, we see all the information from the initial contact. When you initially load a lead into the system, there's very minimal information that needs to be loaded, and then you can add as you talk and communicate with the customer. For instance, under attributes, you may make these required fields. You can do things like what industry are they in, number of employees, depending on the rules internally within your company. Within the activities, you can actually add tasks. You can add notes directly to the lead, record even task management, where with the task, you can actually set future tasks. For instance, I want to make a phone call next week. You can actually set that up with a date and time, and it'll come back and do a pop-up and remind you to do that, or someone else, depending on who you send it to. And that way you can keep track of all the open tasks. So it pops up like it does when you use your Outlook calendar, same type of pop-up. You can also add notes directly to the lead. You can add notes, you can add chats, add new appointments, messages. So you're building up a history of with that particular customer. Let's see. Now that was April West. Let's see if I can find. If I can get him back. Like for instance, here's the guy I was looking for before, Al Bunbury. If I look at the attributes, they're already filled in. He's a food and beverage, number of employees, and so on. If I look at the activities, I'll see that the things that have happened along with it. And what's nice is as I move this arrow down to the different fields, you'll see on the bottom of the screen, it's showing me the detail that's behind it. And if I click on it, it'll actually open the entire screen. So all the way down through the last particular topic here. Now you notice I can't do activities to it anymore because it's been converted. So that's kind of like a protection of once a lead's converted at some point in time that you can't do anything with it. As soon as the lead enters the system, you're allowed to connect it back to your marketing automation tools, where our lead or contact indicates that they are ready to move forward for a sale. We can begin to create an opportunity to identify the components for that sale. So if I go over to my opportunities, I'll take a look at 347. You can see that any activities that were on the original order, they come over and they stay with it throughout the life of the order. In the top right corner, there's a price roll-up, and Acumatica has a very extensive pricing engine and can calculate discounts and breakpoints based upon the rules that you give it. You'll notice that I have a little warning sign here, and what it's telling me is that this opportunity cannot be modified because the primary quote has been submitted. In other words, this has a quote that has been made for this system, and as you'll notice, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different quotes on the system. I have to pick a primary quote in order to create anything from it, but if I go to this primary quote, I can look at it under actions, and I can create a sales order, or I can work with it. I have the ability to mail it or print it and send it. Go to document details. You'll see here that it's 80%. If we were in the earlier process, let's say we're under the qualification, you'll see that it actually dropped to 10% with a weighted total. So as you're working through the process, you'll notice that this changes as you're working with it. And I mentioned earlier on the pipeline, it's those codes that determine where it appears on the pipeline. So as you update the status of a particular prospect, or in this case, opportunity, it actually will show up on the pipeline. These stages are modifiable to match whatever the stages you are. We just include them as a standard for reference. As I showed, one or more quotes can be applied to an opportunity as needed. The products or services from the opportunity will carry over to the quote, and you might want to modify a line item or quantities or prices for the different versions of the quote. The final quote will be marked as the primary, as we saw with the little check marks, and you can send it to the customer via email. Backup opportunity will always see the activities continue to stack up, as well as multiple quote versions that may have been applied to that opportunity. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave this one and go to 376, next one in line. You'll see the little note box is now turned yellow. What that's telling me is that I have, in this case, it's a PDF that's attached to this particular line item. One of the things that's very strong within Acumatica is we have a very strong document management system. So we can attach any Microsoft-based file to anything, anywhere within the system. So we can have PDFs, we can have Word documents, anything that, and drawings if you need it for a particular item, anything that's out there, so you have a complete history of everything within that client and within that document. If I do go to the quotes, here's my quote that was generated. And in this case, I can copy it, I can send it. In this case, I'll just print it to the screen so you can see what's going on here. Basically, these are controlled through our built-in report writer. Everything is controlled, so you can change the wording, you can change the positions, you can add your logo, and then that way it can be sent out as an email. You can print it out, make a PDF in order to get that information out the door. Whoops. Went too far back. The other thing I can do once I have a quote on the system, and this is the only one, so it is the primary quote, under actions, I can go ahead. Now I've talked to them, they've approved everything, it's ready to go. I now can create my sales order. And I have a couple of choices when I create the sales order. I can automatically recalculate the prices, which I'm not going to do at this point. I can recalculate discounts, or I can just say, okay. And what it's going to do, if you notice in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see the word opportunities change. And it's going to bring up my sales order screen. So now I'm actually in the sales order as if I was actually going to type in a brand new sales order, but it's filling in all the fields for me automatically. It already knows the date, the requested on, because that came from the quote. It knows the parts that I'm selling. It has all of this information, so it's actually ready for me to do. I can print pick tickets. I can do invoicing on it. So there's any number of things I can do now that it's a real sales order. One thing I'd bring up is you notice that there's a little warning sign here, and it's warning me that the particular item is in warehouse wholesale. Quantities available will be negative. Well, on the actual line item itself, here's my warning, and it's in red. So it's warning me that I don't have enough inventory in my warehouse to actually sell. It's still going to let me proceed, but it's warning you because it would drive the inventory negative. So that means that somebody has to do something about it. What's nice is from here, I have the ability to, I can, like I just said, I can create the shipment. I can actually create, if this is something that you purchase, that you never stock, but you purchase it in order to sell to a client, I can actually create the purchase order right here, tie the purchase order directly to that sales order. And then when that purchase order comes in, I get an automatic notification that the item has come in so that I can turn around and ship it out the door. Or conversely, if you're in the manufacturing environment and you're a make to order, it'll actually allow me to generate a work order for the item. And when that manufacturing order is complete, it then gives me the notification that it's completed so that I can actually send it out to the customer. The whole idea here is that everything is tied together, so nobody has post-its sitting on their terminal or post-its on their desk to remember when this PO comes in or this work order comes in, I now need to take care of it. It's already done as part of the system when you tie them together. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk with you about was the marketing lists. From a marketing standpoint, you can create and manage marketing lists directly inside of Acumatica. These lists can be either static or dynamic. And I'm going to pick on new leads and show the selection criteria. Dynamic list means that the selection criteria determines how the list will be affected and who is on that list. In this example, we're seeing that all of our new leads on our new lead marketing list are contained from leads captured this month. So I've got equals new created this month, and they have to be a lead. So that would determine what appears on this particular list. You also have the ability to create what are called static list members. So let's say I added some static list members to this, which would be under here. If I typed in, let's say like 5 members for that particular list, those 5 would remain static throughout the life of the list. So it'd be on there today, 30 days from now, they'd still be on the list. So how you control those lists is totally under your control. Another thing that you can use them for, here, let me back this up, is, for instance, you can send them out for newsletters. In this case, I happen to have the employee list, and they would all be fixed because there'd be no selection criteria. So if I click on list members, I now have a list of the employees that I've put in here. So if I need to send out a company newsletter, company documents, I can actually do a merge directly from here. One of the things, as I just said, when we're talking about the emails, is that we can do mass emails from within the system. So you can utilize, let me bring this one up. You can utilize the mass email functionality to create newsletters or messages that you'd like to send out to your clients. And actually, you can send them out to employees as well. HTML is supported to reduce the amount of time spent utilizing your email. So that what that means is that it completely supports all the formatting, adding logos, commas, paragraphs, things like that. Tied to that is marketing campaigns. Within marketing campaigns, you can set up different ones. For instance, I'll pick on the partnership campaign. And here with this campaign, and you're unlimited as to how many of these that you want. Within this campaign, I've got the start date, end date. I've got a planned budget. What's my expected return? If there was a promo code involved, so far year to date, what it's been me, what's my opportunity value? What's the won opportunities value? If I look at generated leads from this campaign, I can see that I have these generated leads for it. If I look, which doesn't look like a lot, but then if I go over to opportunities, these are all the opportunities that were generated by this particular campaign. So it's a pretty powerful tool to manage and the different campaigns. You can run any number of reports comparing campaign to campaign to see what it was a better one. And as a matter of fact, you can also do it if you do a lot of shows and things. You can actually consider a show a campaign, and that way you can compare what the differences are for each one. Another thing that we can do is we have a thing called import scenarios. Acumatica provides direct connections to what are considered some of the best-in-class marketing tools, for instance, such as HubSpot. A lot of people are very comfortable with going into it. What I'll do here is I'll show you that using the search again, I'll just type in Hub, and I want leads from HubSpot. What it automatically does is it gives me the opportunity to go out to HubSpot, as long as I have the credentials, to go out and grab the leads that are sitting in HubSpot. As you notice here, what this is we've already predetermined the layout that's required to connect HubSpot into Acumatica. So we also have one for Salesforce as well. So a lot of people use HubSpot, a lot of people use Salesforce. And then when those leads come in, then you'd run it through the assignment scenario that I talked earlier about. And that way, they're automatically assigned to all the different salesmen who then would receive emails or texts to letting them know that they have new assignments to them so they can follow up. The other thing that's built into the CRM module that we saw on the main CRM screen is that once a customer, oh, wait a minute, I don't want that one. I want the support manager. Once they become a customer, then support becomes an issue within the system. Support management is considered another critical aspect of Acumatica CRM. You can manage both internal and external support cases, and then use a dashboard to help keep a bird's eye view on everything that's occurring among your customers. My support manager is getting instant visibility into high priority cases and workload even among his support team. These cases can be entered internally, captured from our customer portal, which is included with the system, or even entered from the mobile device. You can also use activity management, as we've already seen in today's earlier demonstration, against your cases. So now the support team can interact with their clients just as the sales team does with prospects from a sales standpoint. Cases can be categorized by severity and priority and escalated to the appropriate resources as necessary. Cases then can even be set up to be billed for time if that's the way your particular business is running. Acumatica also, as I've talked about it a whole bunch, Acumatica has a native mobile app, which I'm going to bring my phone up here. So what you're seeing is my iPhone. This is an app that's available in the Apple and the Android stores, which means you can manage all your interactions with clients from your smartphone or from a tablet. As I log into Acumatica mobile app, you'll see that I have access to all of the same CRM and ERP functions that I have had on the back-end site. So if I'm interested in taking a look at support cases, I can actually go to the cases and drill down and view the cases that belong to me or to the entire company. There's a lot of cases out there, so. So here you can see I've got all the different cases. I have the ability to drill down into them, look at the detail. So if I look at a case, and it gives me the information, I can look at its summary or activities for that particular case. Acumatica also supports using the functionality that's built into the phone or the tablet. So for instance, let's say you have a salesman in the field and they're going to be turning in expenses. They can actually turn in their expense report and then, in fact, take a picture of the receipts as needed and attach them, and it becomes part of the system. It's automatically part of the system. So there becomes the bill that they had for it. And it's easy to take multiple pictures. People use this. For instance, we have a field service module where people are out in the field doing maintenance on equipment. They can actually go out into the field and work on the item. They can take a picture of it and then make it as part of the records. Also from people in the field, if you notice, I can do purchase order requisitions, purchase orders, purchase order receipts right there from my cell phone. I don't have to have a laptop plugged into anything. Also, for instance, it says manufacturing dashboard. I'll just bring that up to show you that the dashboards themselves can appear directly on the phone as you're working with it. So it can be on a phone, it could be a tablet. You could actually theoretically run everything from this as long as you're used to looking at the small screens. Any information that enters Acumatica through the mobile app is instantly connected to the rest of the workplace. As we stated this earlier today, this becomes part of the workflow example. So everything is real time since it's in the cloud. Doesn't matter which device I'm using to put the data in, it's automatically part of the system. Acumatica provides you with a seamless ERP and CRM solution that work together for a single source of organizational truth that gives a 360-degree view of your relationships to your customers. You can improve your customer service with instant notifications, dashboards, and KPIs, or key product indicators. You can capture and understand all of your lead matrix. You can track your marketing campaigns and associated expenses with those campaigns, and empower your customers to access financial support information through the self-service portal. And in the self-service portal, they can put in things like request for quote. They can enter a new case for support. They can actually place an order. Again, depending on what you set their level up at, they can actually do a lot of the stuff that would normally take a phone call. They can actually log into the portal and look information up so that your customer service people are concentrating on doing other things within their job. That brings me to the end of where I wanted to show as an overview, and I'd like to thank you all very much for attending, and I'd like to pass this now back to Derek.
All right, great job, Bob. As a marketing guy, CRM module is near and dear to my heart, and I got to be honest, I've worked in a lot of them, and this Acumatica one is so much easier to deal with than creating campaigns and just how it's all organized. So, like I said, this is one of my favorite presentations that you guys do. So, that said, I'm going to take this back over here and start working on those questions. So, while I'm switching this over, so I've got a few here. The first one that came up was, is there a separate license required to use the mobile app? Jay, you want to go ahead and take that one?
Sure. No, there is no separate license. It is part of the package. And what you do is again, it's role-based by individual users. And what you do is you set that up internally on the system so that only the applications and things that you want them to see will come up on their mobile app when they get into the system on there.
And I should mention, the mobile app is free on both the Apple and Android stores. There's no charge for it.
Awesome. So another one here, we may have touched on this, but so can a sales rep check on the status of an order or access shipping information from the mobile app?
100%. You can actually go out and look and see. As a matter of fact, if they're at a client site and somebody's asking about something, they can actually log in through their app and actually tell them assuming it went like FedEx or UPS or even LTL, actually, they can come back with a tracking number to let them know the status of the order.
All right, cool. So this one came in as well. Let's see. It says we would probably need a customizable workflow for the CRM. So from inquiry to architectural drawings, creating quotes within the scope, using those drawings and such. Is that something that comes out of the box, so to speak, or is that something that would require a customization?
Actually, that's a great question. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but that's
okay.
actually, I wouldn't consider that a customization. That's actually designing of the workflow itself. Basically, part of the hardest part is actually laying it out on paper, what you want it to look like and the functions. And then we have, as part of the implementation process, we actually show you how to do those things. Some customers are very technical oriented and they're like, hey, I want to do this, and they jump in and they do it. And others just say, you know what, we'll sit down with you, we'll help you design, we'll design it, but then you give us the screen that you want, and we work with you either way.
Okay, excellent. And this is probably kind of along the similar vein. The sales manager dashboard that you showed, does it come again kind of out of the box, or is it something that's needs to be done custom?
Oh no, all of the dashboards. I did. My screen's not there. The system comes with I want to say built in about 30 or 30 plus dashboards, where the most common used ones, for controller, salesperson, sales order clerk, AR, AP, that type of thing. So those are the base ones that the system starts with, and then you build upon that. You can add to them or come up with your own. So, but yes, everything that I showed is right out of the box. There was nothing added to what I showed at all. It's when you plug in Acumatica, those are the dashboards that you get automatically.
Excellent. Okay, and the next one here is you said that it primarily uses Amazon Web Services, but is it possible to host on your own servers, or if you're already using a different cloud provider?
I'll let you talk, Jay.
What you can do is Acumatica works with Amazon Web Services, which is their preferred hosting platform. You can also choose Microsoft Azure, should you like that. In addition to that, you can host it on your own. If you're already, let's say, working with a third party that you would want to continue working with, you can certainly host it there, host it in-house. Acumatica does not care. You can put it really any location that you want.
And actually, one of the options, it's not used as much, but they still support the traditional model of basically installing it on your machine in your office. But I think, Jay, correct me if I'm right, I think that's like 10% of the installs.
Yeah, well, that's the perpetual model. The majority of Acumatica is subscription based. You can do the perpetual model, which is based on your location, where you buy the software up front and you pay an annual maintenance. If you do the subscription model, you can certainly have that on premise, or you can have that in any cloud location that you want. It's just really kind of a pricing model that's a little bit different there, but you pretty much stick it wherever you want it to go.
All right.
Not a nice way to say that, but
we're recording this, Jay. Okay.
That's okay.
That went out. So the next question here, we got some great questions here. Is HubSpot's CRM redundant to the Acumatica CRM, or does it offer additional functionality not offered out of the standard in Acumatica. I can maybe take this one since I'm
Yes.
Okay.
marketing dude.
Yeah, please do.
There's definitely some differences between the two, but they handshake, right, so that they can be shared. I like similar with a lot of other tools, right? Like we use Constant Contact as our primary form of email communication for our newsletters, and you know, when I sent out that holiday note to you guys. So, and again, they obviously that functionality is within Acumatica as Bob showed, but the Constant Contact one is a little more robust in its ability to design those emails and craft them a little bit. So they handshake, right? I mean, they cross between the two. So, you know, the information that I get out of those email reports and so forth can come over. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's probably some redundancy, but there's also going to be some differences too, right? Same thing with like Salesforce. There's some handshakes there as well, and so forth. So hopefully that answers your question.
And also, one of the advantages of the Acumatica product is once you import those in and bring them into your system, you have the ability to really just work with it throughout your system, where that's really not something that you're going to get in a HubSpot or a Constant Contact. And you know, you have the ability to actually do a little internal tracking, and I think it adds more visibility throughout the entire organization.
Yeah, and like you said, right, the integration into the ERP and everything, it's all right there. Next question is a great segue for us to wrap things up. Understanding that this session was primarily on CRM, but will there be other sessions available on the rest of the modules? Yes, absolutely. So we try to do one of these at least once a month. We also try to record them so that we can make them available to folks that might have missed them. So, you know, that said, definitely, you know, if there's a specific topic that you'd like to see, please reach out to me and we'll prioritize it. Or we can, you know, sit down and do a specific demonstration for you as well, which kind of leads me to my next slide there, Jay, if you could bring that up. So yeah, so obviously, you know, you'll, as I mentioned, my Constant Contact emails, your invitations to these events, you'll obviously be getting those. But if there's something custom that you'd like to see, please let us know. We're happy to sit down, figure out what you're looking at and or would like to see, and put together a custom presentation for you. In the meantime, obviously, you guys are getting our newsletters already, but if there's other folks in your organization that you feel would benefit, please let us know. We're always trying to put more, you know, new content that's relevant to what's going on in the industry, but also within the individual verticals there as well. So we're always trying to do that. And obviously, like I said, stay tuned for more Lunch and Learn invitations. So that said, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for everybody reaching out. And we will circle back with some of you folks with some of those more specific questions that you might have had. Thanks for attending, and I hope you guys enjoyed all your lunches. Thank you much.